$654 trillion, the market cap of XRP that Ripple's own CEO Brad Garlinghouse predicted. In fact, he emphasized that while Bitcoin hit $200,000 by year end, XRP would overtake it due to a $654 trillion market cap surge into the XRP ledger. This alone would cause XRP's price to over $11,829. And this is not my words, but the words of multiple experts and analysts that have done the math, run it by taking the supply of XRP, dividing up by the massive market cap, and reaching the price of $11,829. But let's take a look at this, because Ripple's own CEO actually emphasized that the price of XRP would skyrocket even without him mentioning the 650 trillion. It comes down to a statement that he made at one of the biggest XRP ledger conferences, where he says you're going to be able to move money from anywhere across the world into XRP directly, and it would switch, obviously facilitating trillions upon trillions of dollars. And the only way to do this is if it has cheap costs, and the only way to obtain cheap costs is to have a higher price per XRP. He said that live, and he said it right in front of us. I'm going to roll the clip very shortly, but I do want to quickly say that it all comes down to one specific day, October 6th, which is the day provided that all of the money, the $650 trillion, will actually officially enter the XRP ledger. And for that, it will cause the massive price surge of XRP to over $11,829. And so we partnered with Apple to give every single person watching today's video up to $100 worth of free XRP. Again, this is your golden opportunity to take advantage, to take that free XRP right now before the massive breakout. And all you have to do, like the video, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, sign up on Apple using my link in the description and do a transaction. Again, the whole process takes less than 5 minutes. And with that being said, let's get into the video.
Payment flow that might be going from dollar to Mexican peso, and you're holding a dollar, you're selling that dollar and buying XRP, you're moving that XRP across the XRP ledger to, let's say, Bitso, who's here in the audience today, you're selling the XRP and you're buying Mexican peso. By enabling that liquidity to move from dollar to peso in real time, you're changing how that oil is greasing the engine of correspondent banking. So for us, in a world of hype, in a world of experimentation, in a world where people talk about the opportunity and really the speculation of digital assets, we feel like XRP is the only digital asset really poised to solve a problem at scale, a global payments problem.
What is your price target for Bitcoin? Because Cardano blockchain founder predicted, as I said earlier, 250,000 by year end.
You know, I will predict Bitcoin. I wouldn't predict XRP. It's too close to home. But I think 200,000 is not unreasonable. I think before I've kind of said, 175 around there. I think people underestimate how the largest economy in the world, the United States, went from headwinds, hostility, to tailwinds. And
what is your price target for Bitcoin? Because Cardano...
Now, obviously, we made a video about this in the past, talking about how Brad Garlinghouse, Ripple's own CEO, has predicted XRP's price at $650 trillion, surpassing Bitcoin in price and pricing XRP at over $121,000. And today, we're reaffirming this, because the news that we have that it's, billions, tons of trillions of dollars, $600 trillion, is going to begin flowing into the XRP ledger, and the fact that a major chunk of that money is about to come in the next couple of days, has made us so that we decided we wanted to make a video re-emphasizing and reminding you of this fact. And we have the proof right in front of you. And it starts right here, with Brad Garlinghouse indirectly confirming that XRP will reach Bitcoin's price, live on Bloomberg News.
From the get-go, Ripple has worked with regulators, and we have worked with regulated institutions like banks, where there isn't regulatory uncertainty. And so we have found that part of the reason why XRP has performed well is because people realize, hey, wait a minute, back to your question, is XRP the next Bitcoin? Back to your question, is XRP the next Bitcoin? If we work with the system to solve this problem, and we can solve that problem at scale, a problem measured in the trillions of dollars, then there's a lot of opportunity to create value in XRP.
And we have to remind you that it's not only Ripple's CEO, Brad Garlinghouse, that actually emphasized that XRP is facing a multi-trillion-dollar problem and it's priced at the tens of thousands, but rather Ripple's own co-founder, which is Arthur Brittu, actually predicted $10,000 per XRP, and he is now back. Yes, the same founder that said XRP is designed for $10,000 and must be scalable to accommodate 7.5 billion people, well, he recently posted on X showing that he is now back in the scene and obviously proving that it's probably very close to the breakout time. But let's recircle back to the big picture here. The $654.39 trillion set to enter into the XRP ledger. It would push XRP to $11,829 and is confirmed by multiple experts. This is the most important part of the video. And yes, while XRP will skyrocket to over $11,829, the $654 trillion entering will actually cause a project built on the XRP ledger to skyrocket from 2 cents to over $64,500. It seems crazy, and it is crazy, but it is reality. And this comes from specifically RealFi, an institution building a multi-million-dollar platform on the XRP ledger. A platform allowing you to discover real estate assets globally and transact, meaning buying and selling them directly using the XRP ledger. And they've just recently announced that you can now buy real estate worldwide in over 50 plus locations using Real Token on the XRP ledger. And again, when you look into this, they basically unlocked 2 or 3 countries right now that allow you to actually buy properties in these countries. We're talking over 10,000 plus properties valued over $2 billion across residential and commercial real estate. These are now available for purchase using the Real Token, which is a token built on the XRP ledger. In fact, you can go ahead and look into RealFi, the institution that uses the Real Token, at payrealfi.com, and they do have more information about the Real Token specifically at the very bottom. But here's the highlight. The October 6th date, which is critical for XRP holders and for anybody that deals with the XRP ledger. If you own a Real Token, if you own XRP, if you own anything on the XRP ledger, October 6th is the date to mark, because October 6th will mark the next chapter for the RealFi ecosystem, which is bringing on the adoption of over $654 trillion centered around the expanded adoption and large-scale integration of our technology and the XRP ledger. With the Real Token driving the future of real estate rewards and payments, the momentum in real estate and financial innovation is accelerating, and RealFi is at the forefront of this transformation. You definitely have to understand that the value that is about to be brought into the XRP ledger is huge. And these guys are no joke. We're talking about a multi-million-dollar institution actually using this technology. And it makes it clear in the video here. It says, if you take a look at this, RealFi Asset Market is building the future built with XRP ledger and Real Token technology. And it says here again, solving a global multi-trillion-dollar problem. And it's all going to be happening on the XRP ledger. Real estate made easier, cheaper, and sweeter. Why is that? Well, because it's all happening on the XRPL. And of course, the price impact that we're about to see is going to be massive. Just take a look at this, because we've talked about the Real Token before. This thing is breaking out. Real Token is right in front of you. It's currently priced at about 3.5 cents, but this thing is about to skyrocket. The biggest price increase we're about to see in its history. I mean, the Real Token went from 1/100 of a penny just 3 months ago to over 3.5 cents. But what we're about to see in the next couple of days is going to be 10 times this. It's going to scale at large. Why? Because tons and tons of billions of dollars are going to start flowing in. And at that point, we're going to see that breakout. Remember this, Real Token is not even listed on a single centralized exchange, and it's crazy to even say this. It's not listed on a single centralized exchange, yet this thing continues to soar. In fact, the adoption is scaling so much that every single day we're seeing hundreds of wallets joining the Real ecosystem and the Real Token. But it's so important to really understand that the price impact, the potential here is insane. We're talking about analysts predicting every single Real Token is going to go to over $65,000. Imagine $65,000 from a cryptocurrency that's 3 cents. But why is that? Well, because of its very low supply. I mean, the phase 1 total supply right now of Real Token is 22 million, which is nothing. That is absolutely nothing. And what we are looking at here is the potential for Real Token to obviously do 100,000% increase, 10,000x, easy peasy, if it gets to centralized exchanges or if we see mass scale adoption. Remember this, if Real Token, because again it has very, very low supply right now, 22 million phase 1 supply, almost no resistance, very strong support levels. Because if it does $100,000 in daily transaction volume, this price is going to soar to at least in the hundreds of dollars. You got to understand that people will literally become multi-millionaires. And think about it like this. Imagine Bitcoin at $1, buying Bitcoin at $1 and it's carrying to $120,000. This is the same situation that we're in. You almost never find real utility-based projects that are dealing with real-world assets that are not listed on centralized exchanges very, very early, have one of the highest, in fact, the highest score, like scores ranking alongside XRP, XDC, and XL, like the top cryptocurrencies. Again, you don't see this ever happening. Potentially, Real Token is actually backed by RealFi, a massive institution that RealFi is also rumored to be partnering with RealFi. I mean, this is huge. And really, when you talk about innovative technology in the payments and real asset space, these projects are facilitating hundreds of millions of dollars in daily transaction volume. Their tokens are facilitating hundreds of millions of dollars in daily transaction volume. XRP is doing billions in transaction volume. real token, if it just does 1/10, 1/100th, guys, if it does such a small amount, the price would soar. That's the crazy part. And again, take a look at this. Total loss 3,276. I told you guys just yesterday we were talking about it, and it was at 3,200. This thing is rising so fast. And again, KYC scores 100%, Bank scores 100%, top of the holders 100%. I mean, this thing is bullish. And look at the charts, man. Look at the charts. It is primed for one of the biggest breakouts I've ever seen. And obviously, I think it's quite clear that as we get closer to October 6th date, the price will soar. And there's going to be a lot of money coming in. So obviously, boys, your boy ended up buying a nice juicy bag. I've been dollar cost averaging because I think this is a great entrance point. I mean, I think this is the lowest it's ever going to get, like I've always mentioned, because I truly believe in the real potential of the real token. I think solving a real world problem, like they said, a multi-trillion-dollar problem being solved, it's backed by a massive institution. I mean, it doesn't get more bullish than this. So guys, now real quickly, I want to emphasize that I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice, and always do your own research. But I'm telling you guys this because I want you to do your research. It's definitely extremely important. If you're trying to make generational wealth off of the cryptocurrency space, and you believe in the XRP ledger, then you look at projects like this. A utility-based project that's innovative, solving a real-world problem in the trillions, deals with real-world assets, is built on the XRP ledger. Again, this is the best you're going to get. It's still very early. I think the whole thing is 3 months old, guys. It's insane to even imagine that. But when you look at it, this is where the money's going to flow. Remember, real token is not even listed on CoinMarketCap. That's why it's still where it's at. It's still very priced at very low. This thing has not gotten anything close. It's gotten, I would say, almost no recognition yet because they're nowhere to be seen. But imagine once it gets listed on CoinMarketCap. Imagine once it gets listed on Coinbase or Binance. Guys, projects like this become like worth thousands. Their market cap is in the trillions of dollars, right? Even forget about trillions. If it just gets to 1 billion market cap, 1 billion, you guys got to understand the price that we are looking at here. It is just insane. It is insane to even imagine. So this is why I say again, I'm not a financial advisor, it's not financial advice. Always do your research. Do your research, and this is why I'm emphasizing. At the end of the day, I'm very bullish on XRP, and I'm very bullish on the XRP ledger technology, and this is what brought my attention to even RealFi, the institution that uses the real token. RealFi is using the XRP ledger technology, and that is where the money is. And this is why I'm very bullish on the entire XRP ledger ecosystem. I'm bullish on RealFi because I think these guys are huge. They're using the right technology. They're making things cheaper, efficient. They're solving a global trillion-dollar problem, and the money is getting there. This is where the money is going to flow into projects like this, even on the XRP ledger. So guys, with that being said, I'm going to end the video here. If you guys enjoyed, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share this video. I'll see you next time, and peace.